When a musician selects a piece, the notes are not selected at random. The key signature communicates what notes and chords belong. So let's say I'm the note A flat. I will feel the most at home and belonging in the key of A flat major. It's the key of the Peanuts theme. Of course, my note A flat feels rooted and grounded in the key of A flat major and in an A flat major chord. It belongs there just as I belong with my family and my friends and my loved ones in places that feel safe and secure and known. It's easy to grow comfortable in these home chords, so to speak, to forget to reach out to others, to see how you resonate with new people and new notes, to see how you fit into new melodies and belong in new communities. My personal favorite chord is A flat 9. It's just like A flat, but it has something more. It's got extra in it. 2 half steps above A flat, my note, is the B flat. And it doesn't inherently belong in this chord. But I've made space for this note because when you add it to the chord, it makes everything warmer and sweeter. Adding a new note is just like adding a new person to your family or your community. It creates something new and better. It's likely when my family and I foster pit bulls. While they're with us, as temporary as it may be, they fully belong. They add something special to our family, and they make us better. They make us more. They add something new to enrich our lives and enrich our melodies. But throughout our days, we found ourselves in places that maybe are a little bit less comfortable than our home chords. Maybe it's at school or work or a social setting, somewhere where we're not the root of the chord, where we're not anchored, but we still need to find a way to fit into that harmony. So when you step into that new space, take time, breathe, figure out where you belong. Each key signature has many chords and many notes. This happens to be a D flat major chord. But my A flat is still there. Can you hear it? I still belong, my role has just changed. As an educator, I had to take this lesson, this practice, and bring it into my classroom. I needed to harmonize with my students, and instead of expecting them to always harmonize with me. So I removed my teacher's desk. I physically made more space for each child. I'm still there in that class, but now they have more space where they can be their fully resonant selves. But sometimes finding a space is just not enough. Sometimes a student needs more. They need more than a place to sing or laugh or dance or play. They need a place where they can be seen and heard. My A flat, it's also part of another chord called F minor. It often represents sadness or sorrow. And moments before I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, I was sitting in an oncology waiting room with people in their 60s and their 70s and their 80s. I was 27 and I didn't belong. And it was hard to connect. Much of my family lived out of state, and my friends, they were planning their weddings. Yet my husband and I were trying to figure out which organs were important. But it was during that time that I realized music was my lifeline. Loved ones sent me music to listen to during chemo, and it made it bearable. And the kids that I would teach, they were singing and playing, and they brought me joy and laughter. They shared their sweet voices with me, and I could belong in their healthy worlds. I could belong in their melodies. So even discordant, I was still part of theirs, part of their notes, of their melody. You see, we each belong in so many different chords and so many different melodies, just as we belong with different people and different communities. It requires us to think about how we belong. Creating beautiful music requires all of the people that are involved to balance their desire to be heard with the need of the ensemble as a whole. Creating an environment of belonging, whether you're at home or at work or at school, is no different. You see, when we're all part of the same key signature, sometimes we encounter a chord that doesn't require our sound. But we still belong. Healthy and inclusive communities make space for those different timbres, those different voices, those different sound colors. So as you go through life, whether it's a classroom or an office, your family, at home, pay attention to where you feel fully resonant. And I challenge you to seek out opportunities to take steps towards creating a space in which someone else can belong, where someone else can feel heard. After all, how much richer is a chord than a note alone? Thank you.